This is the U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
An auspicious day here at Breaking Points. We have a very special guest joining us in studio, Cenk Uygur. He is the creator of The Young Turks and also author of the brand new book that we have here, How Progressives Are Going to Take Over the Country and America is Going to Love It. Oh, I skipped the main.
Kind of fashy.
Awful title.
Kind of
awful.
The symbol though, kind of fashy.
Very,
right?
yeah, very.
Isn't that like?
Yeah.
Concerning. Hang on. I gotta. What's the book called? Justice is Coming. Just stay on this first.
Title, which is Justice is Coming. So,
indeed.
All right. Yes.
There we go. Justice is here right now.
Right. Yes, you have arrived. Justice has arrived. It's great to see you, Cenk. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you went through some lengths with the red eye and all that to be able to get here, and we're really grateful.
No problem. Thank you.
So before we get into the book, any big hot takes from the debate last night? Is Doug Burgum going to surge into 0.6% of the vote? What do you think?
Well, I actually kind of like Doug Burgum. I thought he made some practical points, had actually done some things in his life, and he was the only one that was actually trying to be substantive. Okay, having said that, no, he will not surge to 0.6. So, look, I've got a similar take as a lot of folks do. It was a mess, and it looked like the kids' table. They're constantly talking over each other.
Yeah.
They're running for second. Although I thought DeSantis was a little strong last night, stronger than he normally is, with a weird smile and all.
Yeah.
But
I think he's a little better than the first
weird
debate,
smile.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, but all that notwithstanding, both Democrats and Republicans don't really know how to hit Donald Trump. Chris Christie's the closest. At least he's aggressive and not shy about it, not scared.
Yeah.
He's the only person in either party not scared of Trump. Having said that, I have 1,000 better ways to hit Donald Trump, and they just won't do it. Hey, you should put a nickname on him, Spoiled Donnie.
Already done
he
it.
Got
Donald Duck.
$400 million from
Boy,
his dad.
what
He
the
blew it all
fuck are
'cause
you
he's a
doing?
spoiled little child. And then when the country took his toy away, which was the American government, he wanted to break the toy, right? That's who he is, spoiled little baby. You have to undercut his strength. And the Democrats keep calling him racist, sexist, bigot, etc. Dude, everybody already knows that. Okay, and for a lot of those voters, unfortunately, that's not the bug, that's the feature. But even so, it's not all folks who are, there's a lot of anti-establishment people there, especially among independents. You need to deliver on issues, and you need to attack him where it hurts. He's a terrible businessman. He's weak, insecure, a baby. Undercut his strength instead of constantly feeding into he's too strong. Oh, that's a terrible way of attacking him.
He's not wrong.
Because a lot of Republicans love Trump, and they don't even. I mean, anything that codes that way, they're going to say is liberal. But I'm curious actually about why you decided to write this book in the middle of the Biden era, and what you see as the justice coming. How the progressives are going to take over in the middle of an administration, which has probably been middling from your guys' perspective. So why do you think that this is the tide going in that direction? Yeah,
so I'm really worried about 2024, which we'll probably get into in a second.
Yeah, for sure.
But after 2024, it's all us. I explained in chapter 6, this is not false hope. It's backed up by overwhelming data. So the young are incredibly progressive. The top Republican pollster, Frank Luntz, has his toupee on fire.
Yes.
He's like, they're coming. And I show in the book, even
this book?
Jesus Christ. Fucking hell.
If this is his official announcement, this is what I heard, is that he announced he's running for president here. This is your announcement?
Apparently.
Where's around DeSantis, man? Is there any replay bars where it's like this is where he makes the announcement?
No.
Oh boy. Intro. Okay, what is the next section called?
The intro. And then there.
Okay, so let's jump to there.
18-minute
No,
intro.
let's jump past the intro. Let's hear him talk. This is all about his fucking book. Nobody cares about your Nazi fucking book.
Not far away. Yeah, in the White House.
Nodding off, taking a nap.
Andy Wood, he did make an appearance on the picket line, which I very much appreciate. My last question for you, Cenk, is like, how hopeful are you that we could end up with someone other than Joe Biden as nominee? Like, do you think, because you say, yeah, I mean, because you say, listen, Gavin Newsom's not going to run against him. That goes for every one of the corporate Democrats. I mean, Gavin Newsom is the one making the most, like doing the most right now. And it's very clear he's not going to jump in this race against Joe. So do you think there's a chance?
Crystal, we are definitely in a unsolvable riddle.
Yeah.
Because the corporate Democrats say, I will not disobey. I will always bow my head, right? And the progressives say, well, I can't run. The mainstream media will destroy me. They'll destroy my life. They'll destroy my career, etc. Right?
Right.
So how do we get past that? That's why I'm desperate enough to think maybe I should do it. And I'll tell you why. Because let's say that somebody like me gets in the race.
Yeah.
The Democratic voters are dying for an alternative. They keep saying in every poll, for God's sake, give us someone else. Give us someone else. If someone like me were to get to 20 points, do you have any idea how quick Newsom and Whitmer would enter the race?
So are you serious? You're seriously considering it? Like,
yeah, I'm considering it.
Okay,
And I'll tell you
why hasn't it happened? RFK Jr. is at 20%. You know, Marianne's at like 10%, something like that.
No, but RFK Jr., first of all, he's not a 20 anymore. He peaked at 20 for a brief moment until Democrats found out he's not a Democrat. Okay. Then he went. Then he dove down. And Marianne got butchered by mainstream media. They made up things about crystals, etc. So I love Marianne.
Made it up.
You know, if she could somehow break through media,
He's
great,
the crystal mummy.
etc. But it's taken a while, and she hasn't broken through yet. So we need someone to be super aggressive. And if they
somebody who has a book to promote. Specifically this book right here, the best book.
If you get
Justice is coming.
Anyone, it doesn't have to be progressive,
awful.
gets to 20 or 25, an outsider, right? This whole town panics, and Newsom and Whitmer go in immediately.
I do think
is
there's
that
a
right?
possibility of
I don't know, because it already happened with RFK, and they just ignored him, and they went after him. And he,
Yeah,
like
that was before when they were convinced that Biden was going to win, and RFK, everybody knew was a flash in the pan because he's not really a Democrat.
Maybe.
But so, Cenk, tell me more about your thinking.
Yeah.
Timeline. What are you weighing?
Oh my God,
How
this is
serious
so
are
staged.
you?
Yeah.
Give us the details.
So I already thought about it before, and I rejected it because I know what they're going to do. You know, you're an outsider, radical. They're going to dredge up things from 1987, and when you were a junior in junior high school.
They already did that to you.
What happened in 1987?
Yeah, of course.
Hang on.
That sticks out.
Being honest.
He joined the army in 1987, the United States Army. In
Interesting.
1987. He emigrated to the United States and joined the army in 1987. What did you do in the army in 1987 that you're so worried people are going to bring up?
That's the number one problem is mainstream media.
Sure.
Mainstream media is the shock troops of corporate politicians, both corporate Democrats and corporate Republicans.
Yeah.
Their job is to eviscerate any outside.
Oh my God.
So
hang on, Jack.
Why do you think progressives
Look at what I just found. Are you for real? You name your brand Young Turks, and then you have a political action committee, and you call it Wolf Pack.
Did you not know?
I did not know this. That is, bro. Your optics. It's like we're calling a party the Adolf Hitler party. What? Why is everyone so mad? What do you mean? It was just a war crime I committed in 1987. Don't bring that up. 1978. Okay. Well, I don't know what any of this means. I'd be concerned if a guy who owns a company called Young Turks had a political action campaign called Wolf.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's called
half
Wolf
a dozen
Pack.
progressives and try to convince them to go in the race. And they're like, I don't want my life ruined. Who's going to ruin their life? Joe Biden? He's in a bunker somewhere. No. It's going to be
He's in the White House.
And NBC and CBS and CNN, MSNBC,
Bro,
New York Times,
this
Washington
Joe
Post.
Biden literally
They're
just
outside
came back
and
from
start-
like an international, like he was doing like flights to like multiple time zones constantly. You know? Like the jet lag that guy had to like suffer through in just 1 week. He like went to like 4 different different time zones in like 10 days.
That is true.
Like
He probably stayed on American time. They probably organized it on American time, so it didn't matter.
well, he made jokes about it when he was in Vietnam.
Don't know.
About how he's like
Oh well.
about how he was able to do it and adjust to the being in all those time zones. But that's you talk about be like. I mean, even if you're on a private jet, you go, man, air travel, huh? And everyone's like, ha 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 ha. He's so relatable.
They do a little bit.
Shred him to pieces.
Sure.
And I'm now so desperate for making sure that we win that I think I'm already destroyed, right? Like they've already attacked me 10,000 times, right? So come at me, bro. So Crystal, it's crazy for me to consider it, right?
Yeah.
But that's the times we're in. If literally no one else will do it. It's insane. So I don't want to go quietly into that good night. And right now we are 100% on a track to go quietly into that good night.
So what's the timeline, as Crystal said?
So
when are you going to decide?
No, if I'm going to do it, if anybody's going to do it, they got to go now.
Yeah.
Well, announce it.
Have you thought about staff? Have you thought about a plan? Have you reached, I mean, we know, donor networks, all those sorts of things. Have you started taking real steps?
So if you're going to run a campaign this late, you can't go traditional, right? You can't be like, oh, I'm going to collect endorsements from politicians. Oh, and I'm going to build up my base tiny bit. No,
God, I hate it.
And hope for a grassroots tsunami. The good news is when I ran for Congress, I mean, it was a tiny little race. We raised like 1.3 million in 3 months. I mean, if anybody can raise money, it's me from the grassroots, right? And I'm a successful businessman, if I might say so myself. I have some credibility in running things, managing things, etc.
Sounds like Trump.
So have I reached out to staff?
I have a book to promote. I wish I finished it sooner.
Everybody thinks, how the hell am I going to beat these guys, right? So if I go in, it's going to be
nobody cleared the optics with what the cover looks like with me, just like how everything else I have terrible optics on.
Even if he's in the 20s, I don't care. I don't mind losing. I don't mind losing. You're being impolite, which is totally possible, right? So if that's
I think there's a decent contingent though.
Yeah,
I think that.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then at least I left it all on the battlefield. Or whoever does it, for God's sake,
I swear
don't
to
make
God,
me do it.
If I misread headlines and it's just potential running,
I mean, it says staffing up for the 2024.
I swear I read people's headlines saying he was running for president.
Maybe you read it wrong.
Probably.
Maybe. I mean, it sounds like he's looking to, but it's pretty fucking late.
Look, it says staffing up for 2024 run. He's
so he
doing
must
it.
be.
Well, maybe we'll get more clarity with the second interview.
Maybe.
Else run, right? But I can't get anyone to do it. And so I want to leave it all on the battlefield. And I don't want to say, well, like everyone else, I wanted to be polite. So we lost democracy because we thought it would hurt Mussolini's opponent's feelings, right? Does anybody remember Mussolini's opponent?
I don't actually.
Of course, no one does.
Yeah.
No one does.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, because Mussolini ran him over, and he probably sat on a couch just like Joe Biden is right now. You guys, and I know how mad Democrats get, and I know how mad media gets when you point out an iceberg. But we did it before. We pointed out the Hillary Clinton iceberg, and then they said, you made the iceberg appear. No, you knuckleheads. It's right there. The country, the voters despise the establishment. And they're like, so let's pick the most establishment candidates we can, Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. Guys, he barely won last time. There's no way he's going to win now, let alone if Cornel West is in the race and Larry Hogan's in the race and these guys are in the race. Then there's no chance at all.
Oh, come
on.
on.
No, I'm not going quietly into that good night. So somebody better announce before I do.
All right.
Wow.
Well,
all right. Well, I never thought to ask you in your appearance if you were considering running for president.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I'm glad you made the news.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, definitely check out the book. I think you will not be
So
disappointed.
they're also being misleading with their headline. Okay. All right. So it does say potential at the bottom there on this caption. Let's see what the other guy says. He says if he goes, the other guy who's white Argentinian.
Today.
Okay. David
right?
Packard.
Right, Jack?
Okay. Sure.
Right? What is, you know what
Nazi.
that means.
Nazi. He'll love his book cover. You watch.
We're going to be speaking with Cenk Uygur, host of the Young Turks, and
it's
also
Chunk,
author
sir.
of the new book, Justice is Coming, How Progressives Are Going to Take Over the Country and America is Going to Love It. I'm most of the way.
And here's that book right there for you.
Different things that are relevant to the 2024 election, to what's happened in the past. maybe just to pick something interesting that relates to what you discuss in the book. You seem, I think, increasingly worried that Joe Biden's reelection is going to go haywire, that he's going to lose, that he can't beat Trump if that's who the nominee is. The context, although you're not directly addressing this necessarily in the book, the context you talk about in the book relates to it. Am I accurately understanding your view on the Biden reelection?
100%, yeah.
It'd be funny if David just called him out for being a total piece of shit.
Probabilities of winning, nothing is 0 or 100%. Everything is on a spectrum somewhere, right?
Yep.
So, and unfortunately, a lot of people think in a binary way.
Well, okay, spectrum, binaries, those are my trigger words.
With Joe Biden, any rational person realizes that the percentage chance of him beating Trump is much lower than if we had a strong Democratic candidate. Now, why is he, quote unquote, not strong? Well, look at the polling. It's not my opinion. And this isn't progressive versus moderate. That has nothing to do with any of this. I don't have a progressive alternative. There's no Trojan horse that we're going to sneak in and voila, Nina Turner's president. No. Okay. I mean, I would love that.
No, that would be awful.
Okay. No, I'll take Josh Shapiro from Pennsylvania. I'll take Governor Beshear from Kentucky just to increase our percentage chances. So why are they so low, David? They're low because 72% of the country says that they don't even think he's going to make it through a second term. I mean, that's a disastrous poll. And so we can try to wish that away, but we can't. His approval.
I mean, he's old. He's real old.
Well, but also, I don't really care that much. If he dies and he's got 3 years left, what's the worst
then it's going to depend on his VP. No, well, if he runs with Kamala again.
I mean, that's what they should be pressuring, is to get a better VP.
Is to change the VP, yeah. That's actually
I don't know if that's been done before. I don't know if that's a thing.
I feel like that should be done because she is awful.
He picked her because she wears sneakers. Maybe if they do, maybe that's what we'll see with Gavin Newsom, who's always hyping up Joe Biden.
Oh, that would be fucking awful.
Worse than Kamala?
Yes, it would be awful. Gavin Newsom is a fucking.
My thing is that I don't really it's so what?
Yeah.
We've had zombified presidents before who died of old age, and then right after we dropped an atomic bomb.
Yeah, that is true. But it would be a very important pick. Imagine if you did fucking curveball and picked AOC.
I'm not sure if AOC's old enough.
That's true.
What's the age
limit? Yeah. That'd be great.
I want to
her as the vice president.
Imagine a Jasmine Crockett AOC ticket.
That'd be awesome. I'd hype that up so much. Imagine her press conferences. That'd be great.
But you know how Senator Marianne was she was a woman-led caucus, right? So they were able to be really, really strong when they entered a room. And I think that both of those women would go into a room with diplomats and have that same kind of respect that she was able to have.
They would have that presence, yeah. I think you're right.
Rating in half the recent polls are in the 30s. If you're in the 40s as an incumbent, you're very likely to lose. If you're in the 30s, I've literally never seen it happen. So, I mean, and remember,
he's putting a lot of stock into the Republicans.
By a razor-thin margin. He won the popular vote by 4.5 points. So he has to be up at a bare minimum 4.5, but then you're playing dice with democracy. So realistically, he has to be up 5 points. And right now he's losing. Come on, guys, think about it. He's losing to the moron Donald Trump right now. It's inconceivable. It cannot be the most important election of our lifetimes. And we are choosing to go into it with a very hobbled candidate because we'd like to be polite to him because he'd like a better legacy.
I don't care at this point.
So let me present.
This is going to be the first time I vote for a primary party in America. I do not give a shit. I'm taking a gamble on him not dying because the alternative is far worse, and he's been the first time where I'm like, oh, I actually agree with things that are being done for the most part.
Yeah,
there's certain things that you can't really help, that we're not going to see change on, and we can't expect change on, like migration stuff.
Yeah. Skip ahead.
Yeah, does he talk about being president? Are the sections
Almost never
labeled?
made, so probably
No.
nobody's even heard this case before.
Okay.
So first of all, heated primaries are a wonderful thing. The examples against heated primaries go.
This is
back
so
decade
stupid.
after decade.
When have there been
1970s.
primaries for an incumbent? Okay. So what I've learned is that Cenk is just promoting his book. He's not running for president. Okay, here, let's try this. I got a Hail Mary for him. Okay. I expected this. See, the thing, it was my assumption that he actually did announce this. So that's why he would be doing press on this show.
Yeah.
Okay, so try this incoming link.
Operation Hope
Okay.
has begun, and it's very, very simple. It's us collaborating, meaning us, the host of TYT, and you guys at home, the community, working together to come up with plans together, collaborate together, and then to execute those plans in the real world and in social media. So I'm going to explain the mechanics of how we're going to do that. It's very simple. It's on the main page of our home site right now, tyt.com, and it's at this point just a discussion board where we start the ideas, okay? And then we will start to.
Is he gonna? Are we gonna get the scroll that says like gay? Is his sponsor? Gotta bleep that.
Real world together. But I put up a blog post about the first project we want to do together.
There.
I'm trying to get that passed from the outside. So please check that out. And I'm going to jump back into the discussion and start to organize as I have already a little bit. And so you guys know that we do the show 6 to 8 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday, Eastern, of course, right here on youtube.com/theyoungturks and tyt.com/live. So we're gonna do our regular show today and on Monday. I'm sorry, on Tuesday. At the end of our regular show at 8 o'clock today, I'm going to do a book reading. Tomorrow, I'm going to do Operation Hope and explain more fully what it is. I'm going to show you an interview with Ro Khanna that begins to explain how we can make a difference in the world. And the whole idea is an audacious idea that us together, the TYT hosts and you guys, can make a difference in the world. And I believe that with every fiber of my being. And we're going to prove it together.
He's so unenthusiastic.
All right.
He's just got no charisma.
Is he really going to run for president or not, though?
Like, answer the fucking question.
Begins now. So now, in terms of the presidential campaign, that actually does not have to do with Operation Hope. It just happens to coincide at this time. Now, is it a campaign yet? No. Am I very seriously considering it? Yes. Have I done some work behind the scenes to effectuate it?
Click the next link
that
I just sent. The answer is no. You're not running for president. You're a piece of shit promoting a book.